Welcome to the Deep Dive. Just so you know, this conversation is part of the Journey series by ACE, that's a cross-border boutique investment bank, really centered around a global investor and business owner network. Today, we're diving straight into something we all deal with, but maybe don't always connect to business strategy in this way, and that's time. We're looking at how deal-making, which often feels like it takes forever, can actually be a tool to, reclaim your time. Not just in business, but personally, too. We've pulled some really interesting ideas from Ace Navigator for this. So yeah, our mission here is simple, give you a shortcut really to understanding how deals aren't just about the money. They can fundamentally change your timeline. It's kind of a reevaluation of time itself.
That's right. We all know time is finite, right? It just keeps ticking. But what if, through really strategic moves, you could actually get more out of it or speed things up? That's what we're exploring, how smart deal making can help maximize that resource in ways you might not expect.
Okay, let's start with that basic idea. Time is the most valuable and finite part of our lives. I mean, who doesn't feel like they're constantly running out of it? It's just everywhere. But the source, Ace Navigator, it flips this a bit. It says, let's invest a few minutes to explore how deal making can profoundly improve the time invested in our business and personal space. That's counterintuitive.
It really is the scarcity of time, undeniable. But what the research shows is that deal making, instead of just eating up time, can actually accelerate things dramatically. It creates efficiencies, opens doors much faster than growing organically, sometimes years faster, or it helps you grab opportunities that would otherwise just disappear.
All right, okay, let's unpack that. It sounds, almost like a contradiction. How can deal making actually add, say, 5 to 10 plus years to a business's life? How does that work?
Well, it boils down to being strategic and something called time arbitrage. The source points out a few ways. First, capturing arbitrage opportunities. Think of these as specific limited windows. Maybe acquiring a key asset that's suddenly available or grabbing market share when a competitor stumbles. It's only a matter of time before markets shift and, those chances are gone. If your deal process is too slow, you just miss them. Fast, precise deal-making lets you lock in those advantages, saving years of trying to build them yourself. It's like pulling future growth into the present.
Ah, okay. So it's not just getting a good deal financially, it's getting it right then when the window is open. That's a different lens.
Exactly. And secondly, it helps you avoid or reduce negative market threats, things that could otherwise stall your growth for a few years. Imagine, say, a disruptive new tech appears or your supply chain gets hit hard. Instead of just reacting, deal-making lets you maybe acquire a small company with that tech or secure new suppliers quickly. You're not just surviving, you're potentially leapfrogging the problem, saving years of catch-up.
That makes sense. Turning defense into offense, but with a huge time advantage.
Precisely. And third, deal-making helps businesses rise above competition, consolidating or breaking down barriers to enter a market. It's a race out there. A key acquisition can let you bypass years of direct competition, achieving scale much faster than just growing bit by bit, compressing years of market battles into, potentially, one move. And then, of course, there's just straightforward, accelerated growth. The source mentions businesses growing 3-5 times in half the planned number of years. Imagine your 5-year plan happening in 2 or 3 years through M&A. Lastly, efficient fundraising. Think about this. Raising capital through one investment deal can sometimes equal 5-10 years of net profit from operations. That's a massive time compression. Instead of saving up profits year after year, you get the capital now for expansion or R&D, things that might otherwise take a decade to fund yourself.
Wow. So the money and the time, they're really linked. It sounds like the real prize in deal making isn't just the capital, it's smart time, getting to a stronger future faster. Okay, so we've seen how deal making can speed things up for the business itself, but the source, Ace Navigator, it goes further, right, into the personal side. How does this idea of saving time jump from the company balance sheet to, someone's actual life?
Yeah, and this is often missed, I think, but it's a huge benefit. Ace Navigator points out that many business owners have sought investment deals to free up more time to attend unique moments with special people, even if they're already wealthy. It's that classic situation, isn't it? Financially successful, but totally time poor. So a strategic deal isn't just about more money, it's about getting back control over your schedule, your life. And that allows for, freeing up more personal space for hobbies, philanthropy, discovery, and other personal goals. The founder who hasn't taken a real vacation in 20 years, a deal might let them finally do that or pursue a passion project. It makes success tangible, not just numbers on a page. It's about achieving that better personalized lifestyle the source talks about. And there's a ripple effect too, right? Sharing the positive impact on employees, customers, and many others. A healthy, growing business provides stability for everyone involved.
It really is like hitting fast forward on the business so you can actually press play in your life. It changes the definition of success, doesn't it? From just wealth to, well, freedom.
Good.
So given all this potential to save time, how does a firm like ACE actually do it? What are the practical steps they take? The source mentioned 3 areas: people, relations, work ethics, and information flow.
Right. ACE seems to have really focused on optimizing time here. For people-to-people relations, they emphasize cultivating long-term relations. But interestingly, these relationships are maintained with short correspondences lasting 1 minute to 15 minutes.
Hmm.
The idea is deep trust built over time doesn't need constant long meetings. Brief, meaningful check-ins are enough, and that saves huge amounts of time later when a deal comes up. You don't have to start from scratch. Also, warm and short introductions, like 15-minute chats, often lead to long-term ties, cutting through normal networking delays. And their wide geographical spread means they can connect people across any part of the world within 24 hours. That just dissolves time zone and travel barriers for cross-border stuff.
Hmm. Short interactions, big impact over time. Makes sense.
Then there's work ethics, which they call the boutique mode. It's basically about directness and efficiency. Unlike big organizations with layers of approval, the boutique way means close and warm people-to-people interactions directly with decision makers. That cuts out potentially months of waiting for internal processes. You build trust faster, move deals faster. Consistency helps too. Everyone knows what to expect. They also value agility, being light with information flow, avoiding things that create confusion or extend deals unnecessarily, and adapting quickly. Plus, simplicity. They believe experienced people use simple and straightforward processes, preferring simple documents that reflect specific data points, no unnecessary complexity. And finally, knowledge transfer, sharing learnings across the network so people aren't constantly solving the same problem.
Okay, that sounds very deliberate. Building relationships, clear communication, simple processes. But does that speed ever risk missing things or putting too much pressure on people?
That's a valid point. But the boutique mode seems less about raw speed and more about cutting out wasted time. Which brings us to information flow. They use progressive sharing, starting small with key summarized data points, and only building up to a full, comprehensive data room when it's really needed, saves overwhelming people early on. And their experience allows for quick deal design. In the first encounter, they can often outline a structure that saves the business months compared to a trial and error approach. They also focus on finding and fixing deal gaps from the beginning, spotting potential problems, valuation, integration, legal issues early instead of letting them blow up later. That saves enormous time and frustration for everyone. Logistically, they prefer brief calls followed by meetings or site visits at key stages, no endless, unproductive meetings, especially useful across borders, and maybe most distinctively their honest opinion, giving direct and honest advice over 10-minute calls, even if a deal isn't ready. That candor saves owners from chasing deals that won't happen. The source even notes that sometimes, a few years later, some business owners implemented such advice and succeeded in deal making. So that directness pays off long term.
So wrapping up this deep dive, it's really clear how strategic deal making can be much more than finance. It can genuinely compress time, adding years to a business, and crucially, freeing up personal time. The insights we looked at today show a very intentional approach to maximizing that finite resource.
Absolutely. And maybe this brings up a final thought for everyone listening. How can these principles, structured process, focused communication, maybe strategic allocation of your own energy, apply in your own life, even outside of big deals? How can you apply this kind of thinking, this focus on time optimization, to gain back more of your precious finite time?
That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into time and deal making. We hope you feel better informed and maybe inspired to look at your own time a bit differently. We'll catch you on the next one.